Hello everyone and welcome back to another brand new episode of Live GP on Motogp 24 now. Today we have a bit of a mega match. You can see the episode is fairly long. We have 3 races, one in Barcelona, one in Valencia and one in Aragon. We have gone for the triple threat of Spain, the 3 crowns in Spain. Unfortunately, no Jerez, that was at 5 o'clock when I was still at work, so I missed that one. So we have a barnstorming episode to get through. Now the first one is a Live GP championship race, which I didn't know what it was really until I came into the race. I had asked my Discord, I got a couple of answers, but I still wasn't really sure. But it turns out there's like all championship standings just for these like 1 or 2 races a week, and there's like 10 races. I think there's like every 5 weeks it updates, I think, or something. I'm not too sure really the ins and outs of it yet myself because I haven't really looked into it. I've just finished recording. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to have a little championship as well inside the Live GP, because obviously we have our main standings and main overall kind of results and stuff. But you can see in top left corner there has Live GP championship, and of course at the end I will kind of show you off the championship standings. But of course I think this is race 6, so missed pretty much most of it so far. But we are at Catalunya for the first one, and I meant to do one previously but unfortunately got caught up with stuff, and yeah, ended up only getting round 6 it's saying. So in qualifying there is only 5 was in at the moment. There was 7 at the start, obviously 1 or 2 faces in the group you will recognise at the moment. Volk with a 37.3 on pole. I'm under in sector 1, surprisingly, made of balls of Repsol ironically, and yeah, I'm never even going to get 37 to 3, sorry, not 2, to be even close to him. So you can there now 3.65 off in second split. He has crashed himself, so he's not going to improve, you'd imagine. But I was at the moment doing a 38.0, so I think I do jump down into the 37s, but you'd need a lot more time at a track than 8 minutes to go and get a lap time that sort of leveling and into turn 10. Just went into first gear slightly too early. It'll be a theme of the episode, I'd imagine me doing that, because I feel like it's nearly the meta once again this year to kind of bang it down the gearbox, and that's how the bike kind of reacts well in braking, even though I don't like when they restrict your braking or your gear shifts, but I do like when the bike kind of reacts badly from going 6 to first, because even with the most advanced sliver clutches in the world, that shouldn't be the way to ride these bikes. But up the line it is a respectable 37.6 for someone who's slow like me. P2, 0.3 off Busso Alpha in P3, Casper P4, and Johnny Boy unfortunately did not set a time. Just quickly guys, if you do enjoy today's video, if you wouldn't mind, let me know with either a like or a comment, and maybe even consider subscribing for future videos. Thanks, back to the video. So as we have our little animation on the grid, best thing for me was see could we get to turn 1 first. It's a long drag in Catalunya, probably the longest of the season, so to start was critical. There's another KTM or 2 in the lobby with me, so it was going to be a couple of bikes versus a Ducati and a Ducati. Unfortunately Johnny White looked like he also had a long lap in the qualifying session, so I think he was kind of up against it from the very start. And there's in the very end Casper the Ghost. Now here we are on the grid, hard front, medium rear. Not too sure really what the tyre compounds are the way to go about on this game. The launch, as with career mode, was piss poor. It turns out Johnny Boy actually jump started. We were really aggressive on the brakes, we gained on both of them, and unfortunately Casper absolutely jumps out of it. Now I just made a reference there, I realised that a second to Casper the Ghost. I don't mean that Casper, I mean Casper the Ghost in the small little white ghost. That was a cartoon back in the 80s or 90s, God knows when. I'll put a picture on screen if I remember, because I did realise that Casper is also in the lobby, so some small confusion. But immediately into P3, to be honest I'm not too sure overall the speed, because now in this game with the yellow flags you can qualify quite well. That doesn't mean you're fast, it just means other people didn't get laps in. So no matter what really you do, you could end up on pole with a lobby full of aliens, or you could end up at the back when you have a lobby full of donkeys. So when I saw number 26 get ahead of me and he was really pulling on me earlier in his lap, his first lap air was very, very poor. I think in qualifying soft and then jumping to a hard front medium rear just really upset the bike's balance, and just extra fuel load and everything. It took me a couple of laps to kind of just recalibrate myself, which was a bit unfortunate, because in these 8 lappers you don't have that long to kind of get yourself back on speed. But I suppose it's kind of the price you're paying. You could probably try and risk on soft in the race to see if you get a better result with it, but for me I like a race where I can kind of push the bike a bit harder and not have to worry about the tyre temps. I remember we did Aragon last time out and I went with medium front, and that being in front was basically part of the reason why I had a rough race, because it just was one of those ones where it was overheating quite a lot and there's nothing I could do with it. I had to kind of ride at a certain speed because of it. We jump here now to the end, to the middle part really of lap 2, and that is the P2 man actually into the gravel at turn 9. Unfortunately, looks like he just gets a little bobble on entry, runs it wide, and basically no chance of picking it up. Now unfortunately we jump to lap 3 here, and yeah, that was pretty poor for me. I was looking at the lap counter as that happened. It was unfortunate, nothing I could do, but it made a race of it, because I probably had P2 wrapped up. Now Casper got up into P2, but Alpha has since caught him after his crash and jumped him, so now it's my time to try, can we get ahead of Casper for the podium. He was on the factory KTM, the two of us were on the gas bikes, so it was going to be difficult enough for Casper to keep me behind, because I think I had a decent speed over him in qualifying. So in the race I was kind of hoping that I had some decent speed. It looks like from what I could see that he was really struggling to pull it down, and as you can see here into the quite difficult turn 7, he goes quite deep. We actually go a little bit deep ourselves, then he comes back and we just go up the curb. There's a small bit of contact, but again I think it's more hitbox kind of getting each other's way really, because it comes up as under investigation. But again, I think I've done that move on GP bikes before, where you can just glide through without any contact. And yeah, last lap, not much else happened. Alpha and Folk had too much of a gap for me to really do anything, so I banged out a couple of 38s, and that was that. So that is pretty much race 1 done. It's going to be P3, so at least we're keeping our podium streak. I think every live GP race I've done, I've been on the podium, which is a nice streak. Yet to win one. Hopefully maybe we can win one in the future, but for now we still don't have any W's in the live GP. And there you go, there's the little championship at the end now. There's also another championship, but there's like hundreds of people in it, so there's no point really spending too much for me looking at that. But you get points. You only get 20 for a win. There's no 25 points for a full race win, which is quite weird. We gain 22 points, which is up to a bronze 2. And yeah, next up is Ricardo Tormo, so basically Valencia is race 2, and you can see Biker Gaming in here. We have a couple of other fast people as well. We have Gigi Delinea just on cue, leaves the lobby, so fair play to him. The guy in top right, the King, the Spanish guy, he's pretty quick, so I was kind of coming into this thinking it's going to be a tough one. Valencia is not a track I particularly love. Now I do have a pretty special livery in the Valencian GP. I'm not going to spoil it for you yet, I'll leave you kind of figure it out for a second. It was a mod that was made after last weekend. I've pretty much already given it away by giving you that, but there's of course Fabio Quartararo's French GP on Sunday. He had a special livery of the helmet, the bike, and well, I have my number on the bike because it's live GP, you have to ride it yourself. But yeah, you might see it more in the race when I look behind, but there are the letters in the bike and the helmet. Really cool. So again, massive shout out to the boys that made that for this game. I think there was 3 of them. One of them was like letters, one was the helmet, one was the bike. So again, massive shout out to them. I will, if I remember, put a link to that in the description of this video, because I know it's really sought after, that livery, and it's really well done in fairness. It's really cool to see it. Just in real life it was such a cool livery, so the fact we already have it in the game so fast is props to them. But Valencia has never been a track I particularly loved, but I must say on this game it's actually not one of my worst. I actually enjoy it so much. We're currently 5 minutes left in the session. We're currently in P1 and we are slightly under, about half second. It kind of fluctuates from corner to corner, but we're feeling pretty decent. Again, we're pushing on a set of softs in these little mini qualifying sessions. But then we've just been beaten there by the bike. He goes 0.4 ahead. We're 3/10 on him as well, so realistically we're set to take back our original pole position. Now there's other people in here who could threaten us as well for pole, but into this last corner on my fast lap I just broke too early and coasted. I wasn't really sure, so you see we gain up to a second into the final corner. We come out with just less than a second, and onto the line we are putting ourselves back into P1, which is good. You'll see here in a second we jump to the last flying lap and I'm just slightly off Mark in, well, it's Mark King, but I call him Mark because my brain's small. And into the last corner we got a yellow flag basically, and I was just enough under to take pole position, but unfortunately with the yellow flag we did not get pole position. So once again it is another P2 on the grid. See that livery there? Oh, how beautiful that is. And I didn't use it in the thumbnail purposely because I didn't want to kind of show it off too much. I didn't want to make it kind of the reason people are clicking the video. Kind of a small little Easter egg in the game for me in terms of using it in the video. But for me, it was a cool little thing to use. Again, not the right track. Unfortunately, we no Le Mans tonight, so it probably made sense to use it there. But yeah, and again, for some reason here we're showing off the last grid where it doesn't own, so we're just showing off the Grazie Valley sign in the background of the memorial. So in live GP this happens quite a lot where you just end up watching nothing really. But run to turn one as always is a bit of a questionable one on this one because it's such a fast turn one, but it's also a bit tight at the same time. It's a bit of a difficult one. We get a better start than Mark to my right. We're pretty much level up with the turn one, so we're going to have to be brave, and to be honest, it's not the best. So I'm a bit on the tighter line. He turns in, and just there he looks like he's going to crash into me, and so I tip my basically bike back up and run straight on just so we don't have a crash. A bit of an unsafe rejoin on my own behalf there. I did look, but it was still quite an aggressive run back. Jordan, which I'm going to call this guy, I'm going to make up everyone's name, into P2. Pretty aggressive move on the Spaniard in front. He goes a bit wide, and unfortunately into this corner's collision and turn 5. Yeah, that. And then we hit the bike, so at this point we've already given Biker Game the best part of 2 seconds, and we get passed in on the outside by another rider, but we have to lunge back in a mayday. But yeah, can't afford to fall too far back in this race if we want any chance of beating the biker. But we have a full factory Ducati in between us at the moment, so for now it's going to be a little bit difficult to kind of get on level terms and pass it, because straight away Reese has got clear track, so he's going to be able to get his head down and challenge where I'm going to have to somehow find a way past Air Jordan in front of me. And again, I didn't notice that at the time, but after watching it back and doing on a race on different bikes, this Yamaha is very slow, especially in a straight line. Gets off the corner really well, it feels amazing off the corner, but the top end just isn't there, so it's a bit of a difficult bike to overtake. Again, biker just did that in front, and then guess what? I absolutely carbon copied him, just touched the paint, and this Air Jordan guy completely abusing track limits, so it's nice to see that he got a warning, but still should be more aggressively kind of strict, I suppose, when people are doing kind of silly things like that, because we got a slight mistake in turn 1 where we touched the green, and we got a warning where he like completely straight lined a bit of the track. Thankfully he gets his comeuppance, he does the exact same thing but high side, so that is up into P2 for me. Now we see here in a second we lump to lap 3, and the gap is about 1.9 to biker. We're just about kind of keeping him on us at the moment, and at the start of this lap I started taking time out of him, so I was thinking, job, we're going to get maybe a battle of the two of us for the race here. But actually into this one here, I'm not too sure exactly what I was doing, but I was like changing ECU, or I was changing a line or something, and whatever I did then I completely forgot to brake, and I basically doubled biker's lead, and that is me pretty much out of this race, unfortunately. So I think I was maybe marginally quicker over one lap, but in the race Reese, in fairness, does fight a lot of speed and just kind of runs it off. Now we are pretty much settling here for a comfortable P2, and we're way under, and I'm not even pushing, which is the kind of sad thing, and we touch a white line. Yeah, you'll see here, I look to my left in a second, you'll see that the riders behind are catching me up now, because I've basically given them a free opportunity to take my podium. So the fast guy in the lobby, the Mark guy, is now pretty much right behind me because he's just passed Mayday, so he's now a couple of seconds back, so I'm in a bit of hot water. So we have 3 full laps left, and well, in this race I wasn't riding particularly well, which is unfortunate, so we had to at this point try and pull our finger back out and up the speed, which wasn't easy. You can see again not making an amazing attempt at that last corner. Adrian Campos, poor entry, poor exit, so I was kind of inviting the pressure from the Pramac Ducati behind of marking, so it was just a bit unfortunate. Again, we do have a couple of warnings now, so we need to be kind of just careful everywhere really, which is, it's quite hard to push at this track while also trying to manage your track limits. So unfortunately we have kind of made ourselves a bigger task. We probably could have comfortably coasted home, but unfortunately he's crashed again, which completely takes the pressure off once again, because he's basically null and void our crash. I actually go on to crash once again on the final lap, pushing for the fastest lap. You can see here we're 4 and a bit seconds off. I did a 28.5, so actually I'm quicker than my qualifying lap, and I was on for like a 28.1 or 2, so I would have matched the Pramac Ducati. But it's going to be P2 here once we don't throw it away in the final 2 corners. Biker wins by 17 seconds, so massive props to him. He's doing brilliantly so far in this live GP. seemingly suiting his style, because it just seems to click for him in most of them. He's won like 6 races now, I think, and unfortunately we've done 9 at the point of regarding this, and we've yet to win. So hopefully in the final race we might get a victory, but not too sure at Aragon, to be brutally honest. But it's a decent result overall. But you can see the fast laps. He was 3 times quicker overall. Did have a small bit on that last lap when we crashed, but I probably was over the limit. The fact that we did crash and was pushing on quite a lot to see could we actually get anywhere near it, really. So 36 points gained for my overall GP, which puts me kind of well into the bronze 2. So hopefully if we have a good Aragon, we might leapfrog up into bronze 1, start our way to getting towards silver. That is the goal, to keep it progressing through the ranks. Got here to qualifying, and Aragon, I've already done a live GP at this one. It's not the easiest track in qualifying. Here we're on softs off, and to be honest, right, definitely should have raced the softs. I go in the end in the main race with a hard front after what happened in the previous episode. Remember, I was complaining that full lean, the medium front was just overheating. I've kind of figured out that medium front is just the bulk tyre, and the method kind of is just go softs off. It doesn't seem like the tyre temperature affects it that much, because you can see here I'm absolutely wringing the neck of this GP24 Pramac Ducati, and the softs are providing great grip and temperature. So I might have had a different race if I went with him. I won't spoil the race yet, but nonetheless here in qualifying we are halfway around. We're pretty much in touch, but not on for anything special at the moment. And the shame it is, we are so close at the moment to P1. That's all we need, is a small bit of an advantage, and that would give us pole position as we come out of Marcus corner. 0.4 off now, so small improvement from the guy in P1. And unfortunately for me, David is just slightly out of reach at the moment, 3/10. We are about a 10th under, and we can fluctuate through these corners here, really attacking the corners. The soft tires do make the bike feel very, very good. And into the bus stop and try and get the perfect exit down this very long straight. Now, if you have played this game and play this track, particularly on a GB bike, you will know that coming into this last corner, it is near impossible to control the bike. You'll feel here in a second through the screen when I brake, I can't turn in. It looks like I'm trying to as best I can. It looks like I actually kind of do, but unfortunately no, it wasn't really feasible. But into the last corner we come, turn 17 up to the line. Got to be a sizable improvement, and we do go provisional pole, but unfortunately end up in P2. So again, I think that's 3 P2s in qualifying so far. So David is on pole ahead of myself on the Prima Pramac Ducati, and this guy on the KTM's RC16, the gas cats, whatever. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see overall the kind of differences in bikes really at different tracks, because again, he has my number on, but that's just because the way I've done my numbers, I've overdone the base numbering game, so that he doesn't actually have my number on. So by red lights, terrible start, becoming a custom at this point. And to be honest, I was trying to be careful into turn 1, and well, yeah, that is the start of this race being exactly like that. Error Critico, just absolutely yeah, I don't know what he did, to be honest. Thankfully we are ahead of him though, so we've made that position back, which is overall good, because when you find out someone in the lobby is a bit kind of clumsy and a bit wayward. He did get a warning for that incident, even though for me that's borderline long enough. He just punted me into turn 1, and we are looking up the inside of Furby here. I believe he goes wide. Yeah, he goes very wide. I'm not too sure if he stays on. I'd fear here that he just cut back onto the track, but thankfully we do get into P4 and hold position. And next up is the Yamaha number 66, so we're looking straight away to get past this guy, because I know the leader has pretty much the best pace. I'm close to him. I was under on my next lap again, but unfortunately I think just out of here in the brakes into the next corner, turn 12, I drifted out onto the green on entry, and that kind of branded my lap, so I was kind of caught there. So unfortunately that was that lap done for me, and I think we probably could have taken pole back from him, and that would have been pole position, and maybe then we could have pushed for the win, because I probably could have got a better start. Again, we got medium rear, hard front, and I'm just thinking, watching it back, because I know the bike also did this one, just happened to be in a different lobby, and he went soft off, and his pace in the race was so much better. So we used the V4 power down the back straight into the final corner. Once again, it looks like I'm trying to not take the corner, and I'm trying my hardest to get the bike into the last 2 corners, 16, 17, but we've made it up into the podium positions by the end of lap 1, so we've had a very, very productive lap 1 and beneficial one. Into turn 1, hard on the brakes. In fairness, throws it up the inside. He goes a touch wide, but in fairness, he does stop it. So a decent dive on, you could say, I suppose. And at the point, I was like, fair enough, he got the move done. He stopped it. And yeah, but unfortunately, cuts that corner. Track extends there out off the green paint and just does again here. So instantly, all respect pretty much gone when someone's doing that in a live GP race. So pretty much from here on out, I was kind of thinking that pretty much everything's off with this guy. So I go for really kind of aggressive move up the inside, but I get it done really nicely. And then, well, yeah, he just again jumps back across the curb. You can see that little twitch in my camera there was just kind of frustrating for me because I got to move done cleanly, didn't do contact, and he just rides into me again. Now he's got that all wrong once again. So we're going to once again try and get the cutback. Now the cutback should work so much more efficiently here, because like he's gotten such a bad run through the bus stop, and I went for a wide swooping line that I should have got a real jump off the corner. So it just shows a slight little, I suppose, error with their physics that you don't get such a big kick out of a corner when you get it wrong like that, because you don't lose as much as you should. We are up now behind the KTM, and unfortunately I double downshifted, and that has left him through. And again, I do kind of come back, but he kind of just cuts my nose off. Again, not too sure if that was on me or him. Again, cuts the end of the lap, and once again we slipstream past. I think at this point he's kind of just accepted that he's not getting it done, and we actually almost get into P2. The Red Bull KTM, or gas bike I should say, in front goes very wide, kind of comes back and leans on me. So me being the inside rider, me want the one to lose, I just kind of rolled off. So again, just showing that so far in this race, absolutely no respect for anyone on the track. And up the inside again, here we go. That's one of my favourite overtaking positions. The fairness gives me the space, so instantly I thought, oh, fair enough, when someone gives me the space, I'll give them the space back. But unfortunately, into this corner here, yeah, so at that point the red mist had dropped on me, and he was just red meat to me in front of me, brutally honest. So cut back to the next lap, we have absolutely dropped the hammer and got right back onto his back wheel. And I think he knew it because he makes a balls of this next right hander. Turn 7 goes very wide, and we cut it across and just get back onto the race line in front of him. And again, we try and kind of take the corner on me, and again he hits me up the back. So not particularly great racecraft from the Red Bull KTM gas bike, unfortunately. But that is pretty much everything that happened in that race. We built a small gap, and at that point my tyres had kind of started feeling a bit kind of shitty, so I kind of just tried to manage the speed, because at that point I believe I was like 10.3 seconds behind the race leader, so there was no way he's going to get back. So that was the best thing I do. So again, it's another second, so a third, a second, and a second. You can see, I reckon he probably went softs, the fact he was that much quicker than me, because I don't think I could do anything quicker, maybe a couple of tenths quicker overall than him in the normal race. Probably with a set of mediums, maybe hards were probably just too far on the front to kind of get a really quick lap, and I wasted most of my laps behind them guys getting kind of overtaken and not punted off the track and stuff. So lost a lot of time, unfortunately, with them, but we did gain a nice chunk of points, so 42. So we are well on our way to bronze 1, and you'll see here in a second, I believe we're like P40 in the world. I will show in a second, but enjoying this live GP. I must say I was pretty critical of it last year that I wasn't really anything special, but in fairness this year it has made a bit of a step, and in fairness I actually am enjoying. Again, you see Biker playing quite a bit, so overall it's quite fun. And we are in P36 at the moment, so not too bad considering 10 races. A lot of the people around me have done more races, so like some of these people are 25 races and stuff. So I think when we start to win one, we'll start to come a bit easier, because we haven't won many yet. But that is what we're going to leave it for today. A long enough video, I know, and 3 races all in one. I hope you have enjoyed. If you did, drop a like, subscribe for all that good stuff. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope to see you in a video soon. It's long and full.